XB1, after something like 30 years since the first entry came out by the old developers Microids, we've got over here finally today the sequel to the acclaimed science fiction side-scrolling Flashback, with modern graphics, a new story arc, and some reworked gameplay mechanics. Guys, Flashback 2 is now coming to PC, Switch, and other consoles as well, and expected to come out early to mid next year. Coming up behind that, we've got once again Planet of Lana. Well, what was formerly announced about a year and a half ago to be some cinematic puzzle adventure Microsoft exclusive that's hitting only PCs and Xbox consoles in 2022. Well, in case you missed out on the update, the game just went on and got itself a little bit of a delay. It is now releasing around summer next year for the same platforms, promising a legitimate science fiction platformer with heavy elements of puzzle games. D-Pad Studio, on the other hand, creators of the 2016 hit Owlboy, earlier around this August, finally came out and announced their next project in the making, going by Vikings on Trampolines. This is a pixel art, of course, 1 to 4 player co-op side-scrolling adventure. I'm not gonna lie, this is to be the most fun platformer on the way. The only problem with it is though, the game is only rumored to be coming out soon, which could actually end up around holidays next year. Moving on to number 4 from actually the PAX showcase earlier this year, we've got over here a very interesting puzzle platform in the making ever since, going by the name One Last Breath. Probably what you'd get if you were to mix Inside, the Playdead companies Inside, with a little bit of No Man's Sky, where you're on this post-apocalyptic version of Earth, and with some supernatural powers, you get to control the Earth, or at least roots and stuff. Check it out, game set to be coming to PC sometime next year. Tiny Thor, on the other hand, is a platformer with a 16-bit aesthetic and has Silent Square developers aim for a fresh gameplay. Guys, Tiny Thor has been designed around a single premise, which is you get to hit enemies in the weak spots and do it in like a streak motion for a pretty smooth chain combo attack, which looks really fun to me. It's also partly a puzzle game and said to be coming out to PCs only sometime next year. Coming up behind that at number 6 by Doingsoft and Devolver Digital, we've got something over here called Gunbrella, said to be released for PCs and Switch only, as a noir punk platformer, kind of run-and-gun shooter as well. Here's the trailer, game supposedly releasing sometime in the summer next year. If you want to remind some good old retro vibes to go with your pixel art today, at number 7 we've got Dragon Blazes, announced like a week ago as a retro-style Toriyama-ish ancient martial arts beat-em-up action platformer with a similar gameplay to games like Shinobi, Double Dragon, and even a little bit of Mario Bros. Check it out, this one's set to be coming out for PCs only on April 5 next year. Now talk about ancient martial arts, moving on we have CRUDE, which is a Souls-like fantasy platformer with Metroidvania elements and an open world map, starring Cosmos, which is just some MMA fighter who suddenly finds himself teleported into a dark fantasy world and just gets to search for a way to return home. This is a PC exclusive and due out, I've heard, by the end of the year. the same day, only June this year, Red Candle Games came up with the news that Nine Souls has reached over $400,000 in their crowdfunding campaign. That is about 3 times their initial goal, by the way, of what they described to be a lore-rich hand-drawn action platformer, narrative-driven game that the company's been working on since 2 years ago. Here it is, game set to be coming to PCs and other consoles as well early to mid next year.
Freedom.
Astral Ascent is sitting on Steam since April this year through its early access phase for about $20. It is actually the only game that is available to play in today's list and claimed to be one of the successful pixel art games of the year. This is in case you're wondering, a 2D platformer roguelite set in this modern fantasy world where as one of 4 heroes with very different personalities you get to escape from this certain garden, an astral prison. Check it out just in case you missed it. Night Witch at 11 is a Metroidvania adventure game with some fast-paced shoot-'em-up combat and one set in a beautifully hand-drawn world. This game is set to come out in about a week from now into PC, Switch, and all platforms simultaneously. Check it out, a demo for it is available on Steam and we just got a pre-launch trailer for it as well, just now. Candlelight is sitting on Steam through a free demo and said to be coming out for the same platform only sometime probably around January next year. Here's a trailer. Candlelight is a 2.5D action-adventure platformer about the adventures or challenges of a knight with a candle on his head finding his way through caves and dungeons. Now Sanabi, on the other hand, I've actually had hands on the demo for this one myself, is also a pixel art action platformer set in a future dystopian city where you do play the role of a veteran, some fighter with a prosthetic arm. This game's actually got a pretty good premise, it looks good, it feels good, it's actually pretty smooth, and probably will eventually deliver as well. The game is only expected to come out sometime next year and for PCs only. Next up, we've got Corsair's Madness, a pretty simple action platformer just like the old Mario/Castlevania games, albeit revolving around the story of a captain of a pirate ship and his little adventure tale of this mystery treasure. Where using pirate skills and ancient artifacts, you have to save a few crew members scattered around the certain different places and islands, and then get to eventually discover this temple. Check it out, the game's set to be coming to PCs around March next year. Starheart's launch point, on the other hand, is now being funded on Kickstarter, a project we first heard about around June this year. In case you aren't familiar with, this is a 8-bit action-adventure heavily inspired by the old Nintendo classics, games like Shinobi, Metroid, and even a little bit of Castlevania. Check it out. Game's available through a demo on Steam and set to be coming out for Switch as well around fall next year.
Minnie, Donald, Goofy, we bid you welcome to the world of Monoth!
And last but not least, by Disney Interactive itself, we've got over here a brand new side-scrolling 4-player co-op platformer going by Disney Illusion Island. This is a Switch exclusive and set to be coming out sometime next year. I don't believe there's much to talk about with it, except we've got a trailer here for it, and this is how the gameplay works.
Don't you worry, Toku. We'll do it. Hang on. The books are gone. It's okay. We'll explain. TBD! TBD! TBD!
Wait, are those placeholder words or the actual words?
Yes.